Hi, guys. Welcome to Weekly Travel Updates. I'm Melinda Fargus, and I'm your host. And today is Memorial Day. And I want to start off the show by just a reminder to love and support the families that you might know who have lost a loved one sacrificing for our greatest freedom. I had several in our family to fight in the military, but thankfully they all came home. But this is more than just a flag to me, and this is more than just 250 years we're celebrating this year. Today is a day to remember the ones who gave it all. Okay, I have so much to tell you this week. I'm going to start it out with some updates on cruise news while people come in. I tell you, people were griping because Carnival has gone up on their, let's see, hang on. Which one I want to tell you first? Okay, Miami has exploded. The fastest way to get to a ship in Miami or Port Canaveral is the parking garages for the specific cruises. Miami has been going up and up. And when I book you, I most always put you at a hotel that includes transportation. Plus, you need to be there a night early anyway. In Port Canaveral, a lot of people drive. Nothing wrong with that. It's about 10 hours. But one traveler who didn't take my suggestion just parked under or within the Carnival parking deck. An 8-day cruise. Parking for 8 days was $200. It's gone to $25 per day. And if you think that's bad, NCL just in the same port has gone to $35 per day. And NCL suggests you make reservations because they don't have parking for 3,000 people. Okay, so that was like the big, I was surprised at both of those figures. I guess it's been a while since I parked at the pier. The last time I did, I think it was $15 a day. And we parked at Port Canaveral. Well, I don't know if you have seen all of the updates, but I found just oodles of news this week on the hantavirus. And I'm just going to share it with you because a lot of it is not what we're being told. And I watch news channels from other countries in the world. So here's the deal. And I had a slide for you, but it is Memorial Day and we got busy and I didn't get to post it here. So you just have to listen. The couple who is patient 0 and 01 is a husband and wife, a Dutch family, in early 70s. And they had been on a 4-month journey. He's a bird watcher, birders. And in Argentina and Patagonia, there's lots and lots of birds to see. It's one of the only places where you can see the Adrian Congour, which was seen on this trip. But anyway, now that they had blamed this family on it was you, and it was because you visited a dump site about 6 miles from the port of Ushuaia in Argentina. Now some new things have come out that make you kind of question it. several operators do take people to this landfill, and 1.5 million pounds gets added to it each day. It's not pounds in their weight, but it's the equivalent of a 1.5 million pounds daily are added. So the deal was that, these families, or this couple, went to this place and, disturbed the ground where this kind of rat has feces. And because they stirred it with their feet, it became airborne, and that's probably how they got it. Well, now the government is taking a harder look at that. They're looking at the 4 months worth of travel that this couple took, because it's not that this isn't the right kind of rat. It's the only kind that carries the hantavirus, but they're concerned that it could have been picked up somewhere else. And I was surprised to find that hantavirus has been listed in almost every country, including the United States. Back in 1993, there was a young Navajo athlete died. And within a close period of time, 6 other healthy Navajo indigenous people died. And the team really finds nothing. They send in the government. Now, this was in 1993, not quite as educated as we are today, but still 20 years ago, not bad. Anyway, the Navajos have an old teaching of more than 100 years ago that they pulled out. And it says, or its translation says, heavy rain where pine nuts grow and mouse populations were 10x'd. Because there were heavy rains, the pine nuts, which are in that area, grew, and pine nuts are what feeds this type of rodent. And because of that, they're saying that the population exploded. Experts are now saying that it was 10 times the number of rats it was 10 times what was normal. And they called it Sinambre. And they wanted it called that because they didn't want a Navajo name tied to this disease. Well, it has had this title through different states, different strands, but the Andes hantavirus only in Patagonia, and it shares the same kind of properties and the same results as what we saw back in 93. Another area, the Christian Kuntanda had 8 families on one island in the Pacific, and it was 2,400 kilometers east of anywhere. Like the closest airport is Johannesburg, and it's 2,400 miles west of Johannesburg by sea. Older ladies that were on a tourist group stopped at this island, and they bought local honey. And after consuming local honey, one of the ladies, who were in her 80s, went back to this island and more than half of them died. There were several instances in 2018 and 2019 in Patagonia, mainly in their agricultural area, that there were cases. But because they were not important people from 2,600 countries, 23 nations, they weren't on a 4-week cruise to all the exotic places in the world, into Antarctica. They were local agricultural workers. It was not deemed necessary to let the world know. But these people have called it to the world, and now everybody knows. Anyway, I'm going to share more as more comes up, but I think I was just surprised. The ship arrived into Rotterdam this week, 4:30 in the morning on May 18th, and it was disinfected completely. All the carpets were removed. Even the morgue was removed. And it's due to set sail again the 5th of June. That has not been canceled. 3 dead, 11 cases worldwide, and they're still going to go. Would you go on that ship? That's what I want to know. Okay. Next, the earthquake in Hawaii. Okay, so we heard about this big 6.0 earthquake on the Big Island. So let me share with you. Let's say that these are the Hawaiian Islands across the palm of my hand. The furthest west is the Big Island, and the furthest west facing away from everybody, all the other islands, that's where this volcano was. It erupted several times, but then this earthquake happened, which centers it closest to that west coast. A loss of power all along the Kona coast. This earthquake happened 14 miles deep at 9:46 p.m. Friday night, and it caused a lot of havoc. There were 1,000 people whose homes violently shook, like they thought they were in a nightmare or a movie. That's the way they described it. 12,000 people felt strong shaking, where pantry doors opened and everything in their pantries shook out, because some of these lasted for more than 1 minute. 56,000 people said that they were as terrifying shaking. So it might not have been strong, but it was terrifying to them. And 120,000 people said that they felt a firm jolt or a rolling of the earthquake. And it was felt as far as 200 miles away in Oahu and Kauai. That's huge. 6 minutes after this happened, and I don't know if you heard this, I don't remember hearing it, there was an additional aftershock, a 3.2 earthquake, which is enough to do damage, especially when power lines are down, rock slides have come down the hill. This just added to it. Then, all right, so it happened 9:46 p.m. Before 10 p.m., the second aftershock. At 12:52 in the morning, some 2 hours later, a 4.0 was from the same area. And then it was quiet all day on Saturday until 11 p.m., and there was a 2.6 in the same area. Hawaii is earthquake prone, It's out in the middle of the ocean. There's tectonic plates that make the Hawaiian shelf. But I was just flabbergasted to see that so much happened in such a short period of time, and there were no tsunamis. The tsunamis were called off. It was not going to be that kind of an earthquake. No major impacts. And what the government said, and I was going to quote this, the Hawaiian government read on the news, the earthquake had no impact or was directly related to the volcanic phases. I don't know if that's true, because it's like the magma has filled up to where now you can see the glow out of the top of 2 of the 5 volcanoes that are on the Big Island. This was the 48th eruption in the last, let me see, this is the 48th eruption between now and the 1st of the year. Sorry, that is my son. Hello, son. I'm doing my show. May I call you back? Okay. He's very important, you know. I wanted to share next. Oh, I have a very good one thing that I learned this week looking for travel news is that these are the top 10, maybe the only 10, but the top 10 all-inclusive resorts for the United States. Little Palm Island Resort and Spa in Florida, they have an all-inclusive program, as does the Castle Hot Springs in Arizona. Now, they even offer some golf packages that you can add to it. Then the Ranch at Rock Creek, Montana, I have used them with great success. Next, the Marvella in Arizona Resort and Spa. It has the red rocks in the background. And then we have the Blackberry Farm in Tennessee. Now, I did not know that we had an all-inclusive that close to us. I have booked the lodge at Little St. Simon's Island, and they offer a lot of options. You can get it with bike rentals. You can get it with Wi-Fi included. You can even have a golf cart included. Okay, then let's go to Twin Falls, Vermont. I don't know how. I didn't pick up the name of that all-inclusive, but if Vermont is on your list of places you want to go and you're looking for an all-inclusive, there is one in Vermont. The bungalows in Key Largo, we've been booking that for years. The Alita Ventana at Big Sur. I did not know there was one that far up the Pacific coast. And then Vista Verde Guest Ranch in Colorado is the last one. So if I have a lot of clients and they just about have gotten where they were going on lots of cruises and doing the drink packages, then that got kind of costly. And then we started doing all-inclusives throughout the Caribbean. And now they've got grandkids and they just don't want to be gone internationally. So I was looking for an all-inclusive and I found this and I modified it to make a list so that I could share it with you tonight. Please let me know if you find that valuable and I'll do more like that. Well, be aware that there are all kinds of travel deals, and for Memorial Day, they're not just today. Most of them are good through the end of the week. Our Alaska sailing, you can get on board September 5th for 10 days, September 5th of 2027. And they have an ocean view rate at $3,900 a person if we can put it under deposit this week. It has to be done before the 5th. I said that wrong. Before the 30th. Reach out to me. I'd be honored to serve you. I'm Melinda Fargus, and we are getting ready to celebrate 35 years, June 6th, which happens to also be my son's birthday. So we're proud and honored to have served you guys this long, and we look forward to doing it much, much longer into the future. Hope you have a great weekend. Ciao.